Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus again, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. I don't make it a secret. Today, when I'm out talking to people any and everywhere, and I'm speaking about solutions to the problems that we as a people, we as a nation experience every day, I speak from a perspective of coming to you from a power that is non-biased, that is has an extension of love to each and every last one of us, have compassion for us and the situation that we find ourselves in, and the different challenges that we have to overcome in our life in order to come into the truth, a truth that has been hidden from us because of the environment where we have been predisposed to. And the only thing that we have is information about what someone else is saying relative to. And at the least, in the midst of all of this, whatever lessons are to be learned, it seems as though we're not learning them. And so, having seen the path free from this bondage, I see this bondage just as that bondage. I see we as people, all of us, regardless of what we think of ourselves, we are all in bondage. They have an expression that black people used to say that when it comes down to white people, regardless of how they might try to say they like you and can put up with you and you're one of them, deep down in heart, you still a nigger. That was something that they wanted to remind the people of. And so when it comes down to looking at the world the way it is and the way we say it could be and the steps that we make that expresses which way we are really leaning. And then every now and then, someone might step up and say, we got to make some stronger strides, not necessarily by lifting up their feet, but lifting up our hearts to understand and have compassion for the weak. What I mean by weak, that means you. Oh, you thought I was talking about somebody else? No. I'm talking about all the people. All the people are victimized by this situation that we find ourselves in. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you that there is a God. I know every effort has been made to make you feel that there's no God. Do you know how people give respect to the founding fathers? You know, those guys that they say came up with the Constitution and formed and shaped these United States of America. Now, everybody knows these guys were vulnerable. These guys had slaves. Some of them, these guys were hooked up with societies and stuff that was all in the form of exploitation. In fact, the nation's people were people who called themselves running from exploitation for all kinds of reasons, and yet, from the moment they landed on this hill soil, they practiced everything that they ran away from. It seems like when they ran away from, they took with them. And it's been practiced here in this country ever since. And so, we have been trained to excite ourselves and say that we love this country because this is the greatest country, but we know of no other countries. And so we say what we've been trained to say. And even our Christian brothers, why don't we be honest with ourselves and stop kidding ourselves? You're not kidding the world. The world knows who we are. So we might as well look in the mirror. We practice our faith by tradition. What our parents were, what they helped conform us to, that's what we are. There are those who are in some Pentecostal movements where people practice getting filled with the Holy Ghost and burning with fire. And they get emotional or something, and they start falling all over benches. And the children see this, they grow up seeing this, And when they start trying to say they want to get that Holy Ghost, cause that's a practice, they start falling all over benches and stuff, because if they don't fall all over the benches, they don't have it, and they want to have it. They want to have it just like everybody else. And then the people who don't believe in that kind of stuff come to the window and watch them falling over benches, watching your classmates falling over benches, and they get laughing at them because they know you're practicing something that just a tradition. And yet, I saw something today on TV, on social media. I was posting a video about possibly a new government, a third party called God government. It's about creating heaven on earth. Anyway, that's a different story for a different time. Well, we're sitting here, and I'm looking at this video, and it's a whole big church of people. I mean, you know it's a mega church because it looked like they were in an auditorium. And everybody was shouting and throwing money on the big stairway as they go up the stairway. And the preacher was saying something about knocking the Holy Ghost or the demons down, and he would throw his hand in sections of the congregation, and the whole sections would fall all over benches. Good God Almighty. They would fall all over the whole section. You know, I'm not talking about one or two people. I'm talking about whole sections would fall all over the bench. He'd turn around the other way, and he'd throw his hand, and the whole sections would just fall over. And I'm asking myself, what's going on? What's going on? Are they on TV or something? And I know everybody falling because you got to fall. Because if you don't fall, you're not with it. You're not one of them. You're not with the fear, with that spirit. Man, I'm asking you, you know, because it sounds like I'm making fun of them. But I'm not really making fun of them. I'm thinking about how far that is away from the path of what God's love requires of people who understand God. And see, it's not a very complicated thing. All these traditions and all this stuff that we call divine ain't necessarily divine. That's stuff that we come up with trying to be divine. It's a simple matter. You see, the truth of it is, and ladies and gentlemen, this is why I come before you and say to you the things that I do, is because God is God. Not a black man or white man, not an American or any other man, not a man or a woman or straight or gay. God is God. God is the master. And every last one of us, me, you, and everybody else on the face of the earth, got to make up our minds and put God on the throne. Now, that does not mean that we turn our back on government. No, it means we turn our whole focus on government and make sure that the government represents God, because that's what we are here doing now, representing God. And what is God about? God is about love. God is about making sure that whatever our needs and our wants and our desires are, that they are met, because all of the resources that are necessary outside of ourselves have already been given. And all of the intellect that is required and by the individuals who love doing that stuff has already been supplied. All we got to do is get ourselves out of the way, get man out of the way, and start opening up the door so the spirit of love becomes the manifestation and causes the manifestation of what we, the people, look for every day in our lives as we seek the peace and the prosperity and the joy and the fulfillment of our dreams. And it's right there in our hands. Now, that's my job. My job is to tell you that talking about Democrats and how they used to be the hornet's nest for the Ku Klux Klan, to be talking about the Republican Party and how all of them seem to be on their way to hell with the devil leading. Instead of talking all about that stuff, because that brings us nowhere. that splits us even further apart, even if what we think about the other party is absolutely true. Even if it's absolutely true, listen to me. Whatever thing you think bad about somebody else, I guarantee somebody else is thinking the same kind of badness about you. So the only thing you can do to overcome this stuff is just forgive everybody. Everybody is messed up in one way or another. And I don't care how bad we might think somebody else's words up is so bad that it's unforgivable. I don't care how small you think somebody else is. Somebody think it's so bad it's unforgivable. So, to express love is this, is to know that wherever people are that have left this world, it's in someone else's hand, it's in another power's hand. We don't know anything about it. We can hope about it, dream about it, and all that kind of stuff, but we don't know anything about it. So I come to you, ladies and gentlemen, tell you that if it's possible that somewhere else you can live in peace and be prosperous and have a wonderful life, if that is at all possible, and we all want that so much, I challenge the whole dead blasted world. Let's prove it. Let's prove it. If we want it that much, let's create it right here, right now, where we are, for everybody. Let's prove that we're worthy because we created our own. Not trying to overdo God, because our leadership comes from God. We understand that the foundation has already been set, and it is the foundation of love, meaning that we do unto others as we have others to do unto us. And that means putting all off that crazy stuff which means it has nothing to do with the reality of life. We are concerned to make sure that people's dreams, first of all, that whatever is their requirements for survival, we are making sure that that's met. That's all of us. And that's all of us. We're going to prepare ourselves so when the storms of life come, when nature raises up and does her ugly things and calls herself doing it because she can't help herself, we, by the power of the Spirit of the living God that lives in us, have prepared ourselves and said, welcome nature. I mean, you be you, because we're going to be us, and it's all about love. Let's be able to move in that direction and stop talking about hating and who's special and who's not. God is the only one special. And every last one of us are as special as any of us, but no more special than that. And we need each other to be complete. We need each other to be on top of life. And so I'm saying to the world, why stay in the Republican Party? They can't talk that kind of talk. They can't deliver that kind of deliverance. Why stay in the Democratic Party? They can't talk that kind of talk. They can't talk that deliverance kind of talk. And why you guys sitting out there on either side over there fussing at each other going nowhere? Wake up. Wake up. You just as crazy as you trying to talk about somebody else being crazy. But you have the opportunity to stop being crazy right now. Wake up. Wake up. And join this bandwagon of God. Help God to live amongst these people during these days and these times through your body. Become somebody. Become the golden light of God. Is that asking too much? Hey, I ain't trying to cause you to do something that you can't do. I know you can. And I know what your problem is, but I want you to know that God ain't give up on you yet. And we're going to change this world. What about it? Until next time, this is Eddie Marcus saying, bye-bye.